What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Joe Wizard. This is Talk to Wizzy episode 5, and today's topic is how much does it cost to be an independent artist? And let's face it, inside this day and age, as an independent artist, if we want to make music and we want to perform and we want to, distribute ourselves, all of the expenses falls on our lap. Whether you're hustling, whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're working a 5 to 9, whether you're borrowing money, however you get the money, all the expenses ends up falling on your lap that you have to cover. And inside this episode is just a little rundown on all the expenses that there is and approximate amount of money that you need to spend. So first of all, let's get it right off the bat. It's music production, and whether you're an artist that's making music, a producer that's making beats, um, it goes hand in hand. So let's say uh, you want to set up a studio. That option is quite pricey. It can lead from 1,000 to $1,500. By you need a mic, a preamp, an interface, a computer, a DAW, and that's just a simple setup, right? It can range from $1,500, $2,000, even more expensive, depending on the type of setup that you can afford, right? And then the other option is, um, you know, going to a studio, paying them an hourly rate, and just letting them handle all of the recording, mixing, and mastering. Because you already know, if you buy all that equipment, your goal is probably to record, mix, and master yourself. And when you're doing that, then that includes all of the education that goes behind it, learning the equipment, learning all of the knobs, learning all the plugins, what they do, you know what I mean? How to operate the DAW system, all that stuff. So, I mean, the one thing that I can say, the positive of going to a studio, is you don't have to worry about all that stuff. Hopefully, the studio that you go to, they have an engineer that knows all this stuff, obviously, and you just pay them an hourly rate, or maybe you can work out a deal with the studio. Maybe you can get like a payment plan, or you can get a pay per song, recorded, mixed, and mastered. It's up to you, but those are like kind of like two of the production costs that we all encounter as independent artists. And, you know, I would suggest that when you're going into this as an independent artist, trying to choose between the two, you got to ask yourself, are you are you the type of person that is going to take the X amount of time to learn all of the recording, mixing, and mastering? Or are you the type of person that, because you figure that's going to be, even if let's say it's just $1,000, you get a minor setup. You got to think about all the time that it's going to take to learn the plugins and the DAW and all that stuff, and then plus recording, mixing, and mastering the song. Now, when you're in a studio, now that's $1,000. Now, if you work out a rate with a studio, sometimes you can get like between $200 to $400 per song. Uh, you know, even if it's $25 an hour, you got to figure if your main initiative is just to record your music, get it, mix and master, and then distribute it, then it might be more beneficial at the moment to um, just pay the studio time, let the engineer do his thing, get the mix and master copy, get it to the distributor, and then do your thing, right? Because that's like 25. Let's say even if it's 25 times 4, that's $100. Then times it by 10, that's 40 hours of studio time. You could probably record an EP or a small LP for the same amount of money, but you have a finished product engineered and mixed and mastered. Just something to kind of think about. And obviously, let's not forget about if you are a band or you have instrumentalists, you got to pay the instrumentalists too. So just remember that when you're going further and gonna take a step into recording a production. The next is, let's see what we got here. Uh, Distribution. You know, at the end of the day, distribution is not free. Uh, for if you want to get paid. Now, obviously, you got systems like SoundCloud that gives you a certain amount of time that you can upload your music, but they don't give you the option to uh, get paid per stream. So let's think about it like that. You won't be getting paid, but you'll be getting paid by promotions, I guess. But if you want to get paid for streams, you got to pay for a distributor. That's ranging from about 50 to $100 a year. I know SoundCloud has an option out right now for 100 and like $60. You can use their platform, and then you can distribute your music to all the major platforms through their platform as well. But that's 150 $60 per year. So you got to think about that, do the calculations. Is it really worth it? Are you going to make $200 on your music to cover the expenses? Because that's what I would be thinking about as an independent artist. Is am I going to what's my ROI for you know distributing my music? Can I make $200 to at least cover the distribution of the music? And then you got to think about, on top of the ROI, what about all the studio time and the $1,000 that you spent on all that? Can you recoup some of that money? Just something to think about, right? Um, and then obviously, we got once you record, mix and master the song, you got to think about visuals. So are you gonna just use your phone and record a bunch of footage on your phone and record videos like that, or are you going to hire a videographer and record, like, you know, again, the price range varies, right? So if you want just a basic video, it's about $200-300 with a videographer, but it can range all the way up to $15,000 depending on the quality and the director and the videographer and all that stuff. So, that's where you got to kind of budget out everything. What is it worth it for you? Are you going to be just a social media rapper and you just do your thing on social media, record on your camera and do it for free? Maybe, you know, uh, maybe go viral, but that's not guaranteed. And then let's face it, with the videographer and all that stuff. If, let's say, the main you spend is $300, on top of that, you're uploading it to YouTube, but then you still got to think about getting views. So I mean, obviously, you got to first target market your your fans, your followers, and all that stuff. But at first, you might not have a lot of followers, so you might want to invest in Google ads and Meta ads, right? So like that's kind of like the next expense. You got to think about, are you going to hire somebody or are you going to do it yourself? And one of the benefits of hiring somebody to do it for you is, yes, it might cost a little bit more, but that's what they do. You know, you're going to get hopefully the results that you need by paying somebody to run your Meta and your Google ads and your TikTok ads to maximize your reach. And hopefully, you're going to click hopefully you're going to get a click rate back to your video and start building on your video streams, right? So I mean, you could learn it yourself. It's a lot cheaper. I will say that. I mean, I know some digital marketers that start off at $300-400, and that's their base price. You still have to pay for the ads on top of that. So you're looking between, uh, you know, 400, just the base price, and then maybe you want to, you want to maximize your return. So you want as much video views on your music video that you recorded, or all the Instagram posts that you post, or on TikTok or Facebook. So that can run between two to $600. So you're looking at a budget of eight $800, $600 to $800. If you do it yourself and just learn by error, trial and error, it's cheaper, but you might not gain the same results. Again, it's up to you, but I'm just putting it out there, kind of like the price range and the benefits of both, obviously, right? And let's think about the next step. Now that you got your song recorded, mixed, mastered, you got your social media content buzzing, you got your music video online buzzing. What do you got to do next? You got to book shows. How are you booking shows? Are you using a booking agent? Are you using a manager? Are you booking your own shows? What are the stipulations of the shows? Because at first, you're not going to get paid to perform. That's just how it is. But hopefully, you get a promoter that will help you make money by either giving you physical tickets, online tickets, something like that. That when you sign up, there's a small fee, but at least there's a chance for you to make an ROI on all of the expenses, right? Um, it just depends. Let's say it's $100 to sign up for a show to perform three of your songs, right? You got to say, okay, you got to think, okay, what am I, what is the promoter giving me? He's giving me the platform to hit the stage. He's giving me the platform to perform in front of new potential new fans and other artists, to network with other artists. So at the end of the day, the $100 is an investment, but uh, can you make money on that show? Hopefully you can. Hopefully the promoter is going to give you 10 tickets, valued at $20. You know what I mean? And then you can hustle your tickets, get your 10 tickets, sell them for $15 each. It says $20 on the ticket. So the promoter's not going to let anybody in the door unless it's $20 at the door, or even $30 at the door. So it makes the tickets more valuable, and you get to make 50 bucks, or maybe you could sell the tickets if you got good supporters for 20 bucks a pop. You just made yourself a bill if you sell all of them. From experience, um, you got your one, two, three main supporters, best friends, that they're probably just as broke as you are, or whatever, not making money as much or as fast as they would like, and of course they're your best friends, so they want discounts. You know what I mean? So usually how it works out, you sell five, you give away five. You can also do a giveaway on your social media, try to create a buzz like that. So obviously, I'm just saying, the options are out there, and a lot of shows are, to perform at nowadays, depending on the scale, it'll run between 100 to 500 to $1,000 if you're going to be opening up for like a main act. That's when you start needing to have a really good fan base, and you got to be able to sell between 20 and 50 tickets. So, I mean, at that point, you got to be taking your music career super serious. You know what I mean? And, you know, the business expenses, I know this is more for the more experienced artists, but like you got to think about legal fees. When you start performing at these bigger shows, or you start getting booked for shows, you're going to need a lawyer. Lawyer fees, they can start off right off the bat, $100 just for talking to them and getting their advice. uh, you know, Copyright and subscriptions. Uh, you know, uh, that can end up costing you money. And then I think one of the most slept on things as an independent artist to have as your arsenal is a website. And, as an independent artist myself, joewizard.com. I claimed it, I built it, and it's there whenever I make music. It's there, I upload it, whatever. So, it still costs money, But at the end of the day, um, you got to think of it as an investment. Every independent artist should have a website, whether there's some free options out there. I'm not too sure exactly what the free options are, but you know, if they are available, I would just use it. You know what I mean? Whether or not it says, I think Wix might be have a free trial or whatever, is wix.com/, whatever your artist name is. Just to have a website or have a landing page or invest in a landing page that has your music or, something like that. But you need, in my personal opinion, artists should have a website to promote yourself so you can drive traffic to your website and make that your main base to for your distribution, because there you can upload your albums, and instead of relying on uh, streams, you can rely on sales, you can rely on promotions, you can rely on you can still integrate Spotify and all the streaming platforms onto your website so they can preview everything on your website. You know what I mean? Just make it a headquarters. That would definitely be one expense that I would not play with. I would, as an independent artist, I would get a website. And here's a shameless plug: if you are an independent artist, uh, reach out to me. I might be able to help you get your website started, because I do design websites through WordPress. So hit me up. Um, and I just want to end this episode by just saying, you know, as independent artists, I want to reiterate all of the expenses will fall on you. You know, sometimes it's just you got to think about getting a team, getting some investors. You got to be gift of gab. Unfortunately nowadays you can't just be an artist and get paid. You got to think about how are you going to make money, and how are you going to budget your money, and how where you're going to accolade the funds, because being an independent artist is not cheap. But if you take the right steps and you think about it the right way, you can definitely make a career out of it. Um, I hope you enjoyed this. You already know what it is. Uh, like, share, subscribe, follow me on all my socials. It's Joe Wizard. And on Instagram, you can follow Talk to Him Wizzy. All the links will be in the description. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. One love. Peace.